yes.
Yes, that would be very helpful. So we should see some lovely faces here in the near future, very near future, real time even.
Our good pals, our good pals. Hello, good pals. Where are you? We need you.
All right. I see some people coming in on the Book of the Face. Samorg, hello. Everyone who enters this chat room, you will wish us happy birthday. That's just the way it is. That is an edict from Ptolemy the 15th.
I don't think you say the first P.
Ptolemy.
I think it's just Ptolemy.
Ptolemy.
Yeah.
What's the P there for? I've been asked that question before. What's that P for? I don't know.
It's a T, isn't it? No, you're right. It's a PT. It's a PT.
Ptolemy. I am Ptolemy the 15th. All of you will wish me a happy book birthday. Damn your faces. Thank you, Shannon. Richard Bennett, Terry, James, David, Mike, Melissa, Graybeard. What's up? Aaron, I got a graybeard too, but he's just for men stuff. Works out like a champ. Richard, Danny, Lundy, hey guy. James Kukuski, what's going on? Actually, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. We had a guy at our high school named James Kukuski.
Is that him?
And no, I don't think so. I mean,
it could be.
Because Mr. Kukuski had me on the Satan worshiper list because I play D&D.
Oh, well, then he's definitely
I don't think
not.
it's him, but it's spelled the same, but who knows how it's pronounced?
Maybe it's pronounced Ptolemy.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you,
guys.
Richard.
Hey,
Daniel
Maria.
Baker.
Hey,
Everybody,
Kim.
take a moment to look at this beautiful GIF I took off of Giphy.com. I did not make this. It's very pretty. It's very pretty.
What is it?
It's a mountain with stars.
Is it Fitzroy or no?
Yes.
Is it in the Fitzroy mountain range?
It's proximal to Fitzroy.
I wonder if Dr. Nicole Gallucci will be in the
I don't know.
in the chat tonight. She'll be like eyeball it and be like, that is absolutely not in South America.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, feast your eyes on today's show icon. That is a spelunking COVID. And I would like to point out he is wearing both a safety harness and a helmet.
That's good. That's
because
good.
We're all about safety.
Hey,
Baby
Gordy,
girl.
it's nice to see you. It's nice to see
Gordy,
that you're
my
up and
brother,
about
how are
enough.
you?
Hanging
Here we
out.
go. Baby, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody! Happy book birthday to us!
You. Happy book birthday to
us! Happy book birthday
to empty set.
to us! Happy book birthday to you guys as well, because hopefully you'll get to enjoy this book. Do you think they will enjoy this book?
I do. You know what my favorite thing about this book is?
What is it?
Okay, so you guys all know, and if you don't know, I started as a fan. The reason Scott and I met is that I picked up Infected. I was traveling a whole bunch, and I had picked up Infected as a airline book, and I was traveling a whole bunch up and down the California coast, and then Scott was at a convention like a month later, and I was going to go get my book signed, and it was going to be great. And that's how we met. So it's a huge book birthday for me because it's this sort of full circle, even though it's not really my book birthday at all. I mean, I worked really hard on this book, but it's been over a decade for him.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, and then there's some other lyrics too, but that's the only song I know that it's been. Although,
hey, Danny,
it has been a long, lonely time. Okay, so
I'm
there's
gonna put you down,
songs.
Squeaky.
Two songs I know with that. Ladies and
Squeaky
gentlemen,
says hello and happy book birthday, Pops.
what an incredibly lazy ass show we have for you tonight. It could be the best show ever. Probably will be. Most of my shows are the best shows that have ever been done.
I'm sorry, but I think Tuesday's show was the best show
if you guys missed Ray Porter coming on Tuesday and reading Fitzroy live, the first time I've heard him read the book. I haven't heard any of the audiobook that many of you are listening to now. And it knocked my drawers off, knocked my socks off.
Well,
Drop
and
my
here's
drawers.
the thing.
Wait, I'm going the wrong direction with this.
You know, I say to you guys all the time, we get emails from you guys saying, hey, thanks so much. I'm going to be by myself on Thanksgiving, and it's so nice that you want to, hey, whatever. And I always say, it's also us. We gain that from you guys as well, kind of thing. But for this one, for Ray Porter, I got 7 emails, which is a record, that all said the same thing, which was, oh my God, watching you guys listen to Ray Porter was almost as entertaining as listening to Ray Porter. So, yeah, we were kind of gobsmacked and really amazed. And like we talked about, like, we know Ray. It's just really fantastic to watch him just be so dedicated again off the the cuff just because it's a Tuesday. It was really nice.
So we have a Siglocktail this week, but I have been a bit of a stick in the mud today because a few things didn't go right with the launch. So I've been mopey on my birthday, or on my book birthday, which I shouldn't be. And that's annoying to my wife because it's supposed to be a Dave celebration. We're all about celebration. So I've got a surprise. Oh, snap, we're going to bust out some big champagne.
If you guys happen to watch that Siglocktail video that I did on Monday, I said that this La Marca Prosecco, super drinkable. It's a great price point. If you buy a couple bottles, it's like $12, $13 a bottle. So if you are in the market for some sort of celebratory bubbles or something in the holiday season,
I'll tell you what.
Totally not an ad, but La Marca is super drinkable. Lots of people love it and totally reasonable.
If you think I'm going to spray champagne all over my computer stuff, you be crazy. It's $13 a bottle. You know what I would like? 13 bottles for $1. Now that she's mentioned that, I bet that's going to be some delicious champagne. 13 bottles for $1.
Should I do it this way so
Nope.
you don't get it on? Okay.
Nope.
Lord sakes.
I used to be a bachelor. I know how to do this. Oh,
Yay.
hiss it.
Wait,
Hiss it out.
Did you
Yeah.
just say that you were on The Bachelor?
I used to be a bachelor.
Oh, right.
It was a brief window of time when I was a bachelor. So, all right, baby, here you go.
Thank you. Well,
Happy
this is a nice surprise.
birthday to us. Your stick in the mud, overly competitive husband. Should have been
Jude
happy
C. Stenson,
today.
we're celebrating.
But
not
he
drowning our
wasn't
sorrows.
happy today because he's too goddamn competitive all the friggin' time. So now you get some champagne on your book birthday. Josh, we're pouring champagne in case you can't hear what's going on right now, brother. Baby.
Yes.
I would like to say thank you for all the hard work you put in this book. Thank you for managing the editing process. Thank you for managing the audiobook process. Thank you for being there for me during this. This has been a huge ordeal for me. And I am very appreciative and grateful for you. And I shouldn't have been a stick in the mud today. So all I can do is make up to it and say, you're the best. Cheers.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your book birthday.
Thank
you for that.
Now I'm happy it's my book
Yay, you
birthday.
guys. Dude, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was saying earlier, and then I got distracted. I met Scott in 2007 in May or 8.
It was in the long ago time, the before time.
It was a few months after. No, I guess it was only a month after Infected came out in hardcover, and obviously there's a long and storied history from there that we don't need to go into. But what I will say is we started to work together in early 2000 or mid 2008. I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's 2008, not 2007.
Whatever you say.
Yeah,
I don't remember
2007
Tuesday.
was Infected.
Jesus.
2007 was Ancestor. 2008 was Infected. So we met in May. We start to work together in September-ish. And since we started to work together, there's been this little thing that I love and Scott hates that is no more. As of today, it's no more.
What is that?
That there are people, kind of like me, who get a book that they're really excited about and read it until it's done.
Oh,
like
yeah.
right away. And
know
I
what?
tried to argue with Scott and say, I have these great memories with my nephew going to the midnight Harry Potter thing, picking up 2 copies of the book and then sitting feet to feet on the couch and reading all night until one of us fell asleep, which was always me. It was never John. And this is the first day ever, if you guys are listening at normal speed, that your book cannot be finished in a day because that mofo is 30 hours long.
Senator, may I have the floor?
Cheers, my love.
Oh, here we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You worked really hard.
I'm going to cheers to drink to that cheers for 13 bottles $1. Hold on. You know what? Let me tell you something. Typically, a book takes me 3 years from start to finish when you go through all the edits, all the drafts, all the stuff. And the number of hours involved in the book is very difficult to count, but it's an enormous amount. So Fitzroy is taking me probably 5 years to get through. First, the rewrite of EARTHCORE set up Fitzroy, all the work in Fitzroy, A's edits, Big John's edits, the edits from Andrew at Audible, going through all the drafts. It was an enormous amount of work. John Viscar's work on Mount Fitzroy is insane. The amount of facts that he had to double check for me and keep track and make corrections, huge. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the amount of work the kid has to put in. The kid has to put in like hundreds, thousands of hours. And then can I swear?
Sure, I'll pay the tip jar today.
Damn sons of bitchin', asshole, tire kicking motherfucking punks often come back and like, I read it in 8 hours. I'm like, I have worked on this book for literally 700,000 man hours, and you guys come in like, I read it in 8 hours. It's great. I loved it. I'm like, dude, I still got the shakes from working on it, and this time, none of you have finished it. Not one of you has finished this book, and you know what you can all do? You know. Kiss it, okay? Kiss my ass. This will be the one and only time that all you show up and not one of you knows how the book ends because you didn't get it done in time. And I'm going to enjoy this. Ha! Thank you. I got that on my chest. That's good.
Nelson,
Shut up, Shannon's already in chapter 15. Shut up, Shannon. No one wants to know how fast you listen.
So Nelson brings up a very good point we wanted to talk about. Scott already brought it up a little bit. I was wondering, since it is an audiobook, and there are some people who are going to wait a year to read it because that is their vast preference.
Yep.
I would love for you to read the dedication because I think it's lovely.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me switch over to your camera. Dedication. This book is dedicated to my friend John Viscara, the Siglerverse continuity czar who makes my work better.
Yeah. So John did not know about that dedication, even though he's been up in this book for literal years.
He's been on it like a bum on a bologna sandwich.
Until today.
Yeah.
And he sent us this sweet little text, which is like, wait a minute, what? You guys? And it's been really fun because Scott early on was like, I don't even think we were in the underground bunker that has the sunlight. I think we were still back at the Office of Doom, the Lair of Doom. And he was like, look, I got to dedicate this to Big John. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. He was like, all right. It was the easiest decision that he made in all of Fitzroy because John has been literally right there every single day. And these days, John's going through a whole lot. So that is a little nice surprise today.
And John's in the chat room right now.
Yay.
And let's just real quick, since this is free form, scroll. I'm gonna read the rest of these too real quick.
Okay.
Just a quick rundown of some of the people who were very helpful in this book. Dr. Joseph Albitz III, MD. Andrew Allport, who was very helpful. Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD.
In the chat room.
In the chat room. Dr. Jeremy Ellis, PhD.
Good friend of Empty Set.
Chris, Mr. Happy Grawl, U.S. Army Special Forces, retired. J.P. Harvey, Colonel, U.S. Air Force, retired. Daniel
Joel. Now tell us about Daniel Joel because he's your caving.
Oh, Daniel Joel.
Yeah.
Daniel Joel has actually climbed Mount Fitz Roy. I believe he holds the record for these fucking people. Charge me, Danny. It's fine. He holds the record for speed climbing Mount Fitzroy. Speed climbing. So it's not just enough to climb this, and it's over 100 people have died climbing Mount Fitzroy. I mean, it's not Mount Everest, but it's really, really, really dangerous to climb Fitzroy because of that sheer ass slope. He sees how fast he can climb it, but he's very helpful. He helped with the helicopter landing scene and giving me, of course, I had always dreamed I would go down to Argentina and go to Mount Fitzroy. That never happened. Maybe some point in the future, but he was boots on the ground for me. Alan, go ahead.
Wait, before you go on from Daniel, he was also like one of my favorite things about him is it took a long time to get for Scott to reach him. Like he had to kind of triangulate and, hey, do you guys know this guy? Can you? And then finally he emailed and there's like, what are you at? Why are you here? And Scott was like, hi, I'm a writer, Fitzroy. And all of a sudden, Daniel could not be more invested about all the things. And was he also, did he connect you with
that's a different
sound guy?
That's a different guy. I found that guy in research, but maybe, I'm not even sure anymore. But also Daniel Joel didn't respond for the first 2 months because he was in a place that had no cell phones for 2 months. Or phones. Yeah. I don't want to know.
No connection. For
Alex Kent Kendrick, PhD candidate, who helped me a lot with, he invented a new way to communicate to underground mining teams and keep mining teams.
Oh yeah, that was the point I was making. Like Daniel kept saying,
I found him.
No, oh sorry, I messed that part up. But Daniel kept saying like, you can't talk to your teammates by radio underground, and he was like, I need that.
And
so he found a guy who created a new thing.
Create new technology. Oh, by the way, all you guys are going to bag on me this time for cell phones. You can't use cell phones down in the caves. You can kiss mask. And of course, the final thanks is to none other than A.B. Kovacs, who is now A.B. Sigler. So there you go. All right, baby, we got some stuff to cover.
All I need is a little bit of $1 per bottle champagne. Actually, I never need that. Please don't send that.
Let's do a quick, we got some stuff coming up a little bit on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen.
Before that scrolls away, look at Dr. Daniel Baker charged you $2 for being pissy.
$2 for being pissy. He's had to deal with that for 40 years now. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, for Christmas. It's the only Christmas movie that really matters besides Christmas Vacation, which now because Randy Quaid's in, it's difficult to watch. But Story Smack is going to be a
Fred
Christmas
Healy,
story.
my favorite part.
The longest, most enduring movie, the only movie that TBS puts on for 24 hours so that people can actually go get some vacation every friggin' year. It's
I
lovely.
also read today, I don't know if it's true, but I read today that this year we are as far away from the movie's release as the movie's release was away from the events when they took place, because this is set in 1940-ish.
Yeah.
And it came, or 40s, and it came out in the 80s, and
Yeah.
now we're 40 years away from the 80s. So
It's ridiculous. Everyone, you are forbidden from shooting your eye out before we have Rob Otto on. The Empty Set movie maven, Rob Otto.
it's true. He's my favorite movie maven.
We're going to have Rob Otto on to talk about A Christmas Story. After A Christmas Story, you may go get your Red Ryder BB gun with a thing in the stock which tells time, and you may shoot out your eye, and that's
And
fine.
if you shoot
But
your
not-
eye out, though,
Not before.
if
Yeah,
you
babe?
shoot your eye out, that's your fault.
It's-
Empty Set takes no responsibility. No responsibility.
We are now. So again, that will be 12:12. We should have it at 12.
Well, okay.
No, we're not going to.
We're not gonna do that.
12:12. Come join us. We're going to talk about this classic
It'll be
movie
12 o'clock somewhere.
that all of us have watched so many times. It's so wonderful and great. And the sons of bitch and bumpuses. That's all. That's what
Exactly.
I'd say. Sons of bitch and bumpuses.
So, as Scott said, this is sort of a little bit of a lazy Fitzroy because we've been super busy all day. So we're going to talk, lazy Fitzroy. It's been a lazy SIGLERinPLACE because we're just going to talk about Fitzroy mostly. That said, on Tuesday we had Ray on and we wanted to give you guys as much time with Ray as we could get. So we ignored all the stuff. We're going to do quick SIGLERbrations and a quick rundown for our sponsor. And
Let's
then
go.
we're going to talk
Let's
Fitzroy.
go. Let's hit it.
So tomorrow, Sean Dyer's in the chat room today. He's one of our favorite junkies. He's always here in the Sigler. Well, not always, but often here in the SIGLERinPLACE, and he's a huge part of it. He submits a ton of questions, a ton of charities, a ton of everything, and his birthday is tomorrow. And if I'm not wrong, I think when we talked about Thanksgiving, Sean, you said you were isolating mostly by yourself. So everybody send many congratulations. And if any of you remember tomorrow, post on his Facebook wall too. Happy birthday, Sean. We love you. We're so glad that you're here.
Joshua, that celebration sounds acceptable to me. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, secondary. I screwed this up several times. So 11:30 Monday was this one's birthday. Also, Rob Otto, who is in the chat room now, they literally know this about themselves. Tell the driver's license story.
Driver's license story. First of all, fist bump, Rob. There you go. This is me fisting you. There you go. Rob and I both, you might say, had the gift of gab in high school and in college. And we were born on the same day, in November 30th. And Rob is significantly larger human being than I am. And we would go to...
Wait, can I say another thing?
Sure.
Because this is sensitive to say, and I didn't know them then, but I think also when you first started like going out around to bars and stuff and whatever, he's physically quite different than you
Yes.
are, but also you had red blonde curly hair.
I used to have hair, yes.
And he has, and Rob, who you've seen on Story Smack, has
Rob
like,
Tenorella knows I used to have hair, yes.
and Rob Otto has short. He's quite I think Irish Germanic kind of guy, and so back in the day you didn't look anything alike.
we looked nothing
for
alike.
several reasons, and that's
Nothing
still
alike.
true. Yeah.
And we would at, various events, various wrestling matches, and then eventually in college, we'd go to the bar, and Rob and I would start chatting up some young ladies, and we would, after a good 20, 30 minutes of conversation, Rob and I always kept this in reserve. We would go, at some point, like, well, how long you guys been friends, or how do you know each other? Like, oh, we're twins. And they would laugh, ha, you're not twins. I'm like, no, we're paternal twins, not fraternal twins. I may have backward. I
You're
knew it back
fraternal
then.
twins,
We're
not identical.
fraternal twins. 2 eggs, both fertilized, come out of mom same time. But it's we're not identical twins, but we are twins. And they'd be like,
Why do you have different last
Why do
names?"
you have a different last name? I'm not saying.
No, do it again.
I'm not saying that the people we use this line on were Mensa candidates. Let's get that out right now. Although it tended to work on just about everybody. Like, but you don't even have a last name. And I'd be like, that's because Rob is the 9th child of the family. And it was just too much. We were both oops babies. So the parents, Rob's parents put us up for adoption. I'm adopted. They meant for Rob to be adopted, but like they wound up, okay, well, we'll keep this kid. And they would be like, oh my God, you're so full of it. That's not even remotely true. And then we'd be like, listen, we can prove it. And they'd be like, how can you prove it? And we would put our driver's licenses and we would put them down and we would point to the birthday. And even though we had driver's licenses and we looked completely different and we had different last names, people would see the same exact birthday and like, oh my God, they're brothers.
And you know what? I
so
would never have believed this when I met them. I met Rob for the very first time on the Rookie Tailgate Tour. I barely knew Scott on the Rookie Tailgate Tour. And halfway through the Rookie Tailgate Tour, it was 27 days long. After 10 days, Rob took a whole week of vacation. We switched out in Detroit. He was the driver, and because I had to go back and take care of my business and stuff. And then I met 1 week later, and I finished the rest of it. But that's the first time I met Rob. And if you've ever been in the same room with them, they don't look anything alike at all. And yet, I listened to this story be told at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like, all right. At the time, my I had an experience.
Were we telling it to you or telling it to another person?
You were telling it to another person.
Yeah, still works.
I was not I was a little bit older, but I actually had this experience myself, not about the twins or whatever, but I literally watched in college somebody be like, no, I'm a chicken husbander. And, chickens absolutely have lips. And I was literally sitting there like, I got to go to tell these women that chicken don't have lips. Don't listen. They're just playing you. And then I listened to this and I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Sometimes it's just fun to pretend.
It's all in the delivery. It's all in the delivery.
So,
all right, what other we got? Go to the rest of the relations. Let's get on to MOUNT FITZ ROY.
Brittany and Mike Natazi's son Derek also had a birthday on your birthday.
Okay.
And he turned 10 years old. I might be
Congratulations.
wrong. We have a photo of that. We're going to get that going too in a little bit. And then the other celebration that I wanted to make today, even though we might catch up on another day so that we can talk Fitzroy. Ginnia, I know you're in the chat room. I know you and your husband and your whole family had a COVID scare this week, but you sent in news that you tested COVID positive. Still a little under the weather, but not COVID. And I love that. I'm so glad you guys isolated. Ginnia's daughter-in-law, I think, was exposed to somebody who tested positive. And so they all locked down and did the right thing. And I'm so proud of you. And congratulations that it sounds strange to say that you tested positive, but congratulations.
Shannon, I will tell you that if we had busted that line out on even you would have believed it by the time we got to know the story. We had it down. We had it down cold. And yes, people being tipsy was helpful, but it was not a prerequisite. Any other, baby?
Yeah, just a very quick note. I know we keep saying this, but the week between Christmas and New Year, Empty Set is not going to do SIGLERinPLACEs or Story Smacks. We're going to take a little bit of a vacation/honeymoon. We're probably going to come back one time in there with something, but not the normal schedule. And we're not quite sure what that is yet, but I think we'll probably do one SIGLERinPLACE.
You only got to bring me back one time. One time.
Yeah.
Apparently, I screwed up the aspect ratio of this because now my head looks long and narrow. So
I mean, it's me who has the Charlie Brown head.
we both have oversized noggins. See, they both look like they're orange and a toothpick. All right, guys, is that it, babe?
That's it.
And then we're back to Celebrations, and is that...
we're just going to talk quickly about our sponsor from Tuesday.
Un momento, por favor. Here we go, and put you on boom, and there we go. Okay.
Our sponsor this week is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. This, as you guys all have probably heard before, during the holiday season, suicides and ideation for suicide and depression goes up because holidays are an incredibly inflated emotional time.
Very difficult.
When you think about this year with COVID and lockdown and struggles and all that other stuff, it's especially so. So the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has many memorial funds. One of them, as we mentioned on Tuesday, is the Snyder Memorial Fund official tribute site. If you donate to any of these go to direct prevention of suicide, funding hotlines, funding help, funding resources, things like that. And in this holiday season, more than ever before, I think if you've ever had somebody who you might need to check on, or people who seem like they have it all together, maybe just reach out and say, hey, how you doing in all this? Because that could be the thing that saves them.
And Autumn Snyder was Zack Snyder's daughter, the director of the Justice League, and we're doing this charity this week because we're friends with
Ray Porter and Zack Snyder are
pals.
Yeah.
So we did this to help out with that cause right there. All right, now is it time? Do we talk about Fitzroy now?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to do a
Fitzroy.
of our pups, but
I
we don't have
I
to
did
do
not
that.
update the pup date.
Then we're not going to do that. It was on the script.
Yeah,
so.
it's on the script, and I missed it because I was busy being grumpy.
But I showed you Squeaky.
We did. We showed you. Our pup date was live this time, and if we have time, we'll go grab the Reister.
I think she's right behind us. You talk.
Okay.
You vamp. I'll get the dog.
I'm vamping. We are going to do a live pub date for you now. It's very live. It's very good. It's best pub date you will find. Only $5 for you. $5 for you. Pub date. Oh, there's my sweet girl.
She does not like to
She's
be on
like,
my lap. She likes Papa better.
Come here, sweet girl.
Yeah.
I got her.
She does not like to be on my lap.
There we go.
She even also touched his keyboard. She's like, Pops, what are you doing? Jesus.
Well, here, hold her again. We're passing the dog around. We're crazy for these dogs. My mouse pad is actually my dog touching the mouse, the
Final
keyboard.
Cut Pro keyboard, yeah.
Final Cut Pro keyboard. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. Now we're going to start talking about Mount Fitzroy. Mount Fitzroy, bitches. Let's get our book promo screen up. Look at this. Look at this beast. This beast has come to life. It is alive. It is well. It is so swole and girthy. It looks like John Wick after he went to jail. Ripping out some reps, getting a couple little ink tat going on right there. I took too many shots to the head while I played football and bouncing it off the tile floor in the cafeteria and wrestling in Sheboygan. I can't do the head shake. I do the head shake and my head hurts for like hours. So, would you please do the head shake?
Well, I got to do the whole thing though.
Go for it. Wait,
because I got such swole arms.
You are. You looking good. Getting them gains.
Wait. Shannon, I'm wearing pants.
Are you going to...
Reese's right there.
You got to back up and perform this? This is amazing. Oh, that's showing off the lats. Very nice. Very nice.
Reese's mad because it looks like I turned around and yelled at her, but I didn't.
Oh, we're back here. Hello. No, wait. The champagne's flowing, ladies and gentlemen. Today's a book birthday. I've been working on this book for 17,242 years.
And 75 seconds.
11 months, 3 weeks, 4 days, 5 hours, 17 minutes, and 47
seconds.
2 seconds. That's how long I've been working on this book. I'm very happy this book is out. Now I'm in party mode. I'm in full-on party mode. Rob and Dan know what happens after full-on party mode. Things get nutty. I may show my driver's license. I might whip it out. You don't even know what's going on. A has prepared some questions for me. If you guys have questions about Fitzroy, we'll try and keep an eye on the chat room.
And you can ask questions about anything in the Siglerverse. We are going to concentrate since we only have a few minutes on Fitzroy. And if you ask anything else, I'm going to ask it on a different Sigler.
Ladies and gentlemen, since I'm all about them ducats, I'm all about that business. If you have pre-ordered Mount Fitzroy or bought it today when it went live, put a $sign in the chat room. Just $1 Let me see them.
Lord.
Let me see them dollar bills flying like I'm swinging on that pole for y'all. I'll tell you a good stripper story later if we have time.
Oh Lord,
yeah.
That is definitely not in.
I actually
Fitzroy.
have several good strip club stories.
None of those are in Fitzroy, just so we're clear. So I'm going to start.
Scott Wilson, we don't know if it'll go on iTunes or not. Sorry, real quick. It's an Audible exclusive, but Audible feeds iTunes. So
and Amazon.
Yes.
It should. What I don't know is it yet until it happens what the deal is in each country. So it is possible that in some countries you will still need a subscription to Audible to get it. You can't get it a la carte. But we're learning that as we go. It seems very common that outside of North America, you were North America and the UK, you were unable to pre-order, but it should be available now.
Okay, right. Wait, should I answer Andrea's or is that a spoiler?
Hey, yeah, of course. Andrea was super excited. She
Andrea
was listening
says,
when I woke up, and I woke up at 5.
What the heck did Angus do with Alice the nurse? I forgot. I can't answer that question. He in EARTHCORE, character Angus Cool was, and no spoilers in the comments, you guys. Angus Cool was paid off a nurse in order to pretend like he was in the hospital. He was not. He was up to nefarious shenanigans. Him and Randy Wright were gallivanting around the Wawa Mountains and trying to run a little bit of a game on Connell Kirkland and Kayla Myers and Sonny McGinnis and Joe Takachi and other people, other random characters that I'll just name. Go, baby.
So I'm asking one of my questions?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So these are a little bit curated. Keep asking your questions, but I'm going to go in order until there's a good break.
Okay.
First one is, did you always consider this a duology?
I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying this. And
oh, yes. Nelson brings up a good point. We are going to do our best to do absolutely no spoilers.
No spoilers.
There are definitely going to be spoilers from EARTHCORE. So there may be things that you don't know about
right.
survivors and stuff, but we're going to try really hard to mitigate that.
Okay, real quick. Originally, I had envisioned this as a trilogy. I mean, those of you who have read EARTHCORE and some of the GFL series might know where the trilogy was going. Now that I'm finished with Mount Fitzroy, I think it would be very difficult to add another book onto this. However, looking at the dollar signs that just flashed across the chat room, we'll see. If this is very popular, I definitely have ideas. Right now, it is a duology. It's a full stop on the duology. Rob asked, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's right. It's
is
early
there
enough
a time jump from EARTHCORE to Mount Fitzroy? No. Fitzroy picks up immediately after EARTHCORE. I think Rob is asking that because there was such a huge time jump between Contagious, Book 2 of the Infected Trilogy, and Pandemic. It was a 5-year jump in real time. Fitzroy is the first book I have done where the first day, the day the print book comes out is the day the story starts. We've been really good about that so far. But Fitzroy takes place immediately after EARTHCORE. Descendant, if I ever write it, takes place immediately after Ancestor.
And Descendant is?
Descendant
you
is
said
book 2,
right.
Yeah.
And what about Diurnal?
Diurnal is
if it happens, which is not on the schedule or the calendar.
I've actually got I got 5. I got 5 books planned in the Nocturnal series if I ever get to it. It just depends on where we're going. But if things go well with this, Audible will basically be like, they'll come up to me like, I understand you got some more books. Maybe you should write another book for us. We would like to publish it. How about you get in the goddamn car already and stop talking? All right.
Okay. This is going to be a hard one for you, sir. Scott has not seen these questions.
It's going to get hard, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah.
Scott has not had these questions yet. But we know that you read the first chapter of Mount Fitzroy back in 2006 at the Podcast Expo in L.A.
Yep.
We also know that this first chapter and that first chapter are different. And if you guys don't know that, it's in Bones Are White. John, help me out. Big John Vizcar will know. I think it's at the end of Bones Are White. But the first chapter of Fitzroy is in one of the short story collection books. And hopefully John can tell me which one. So did you have a different story arc in mind back then, or were you just writing a first chapter?
I had the whole thing planned out. The big events that you will see when you read Mount Fitzroy, those were all kind of planned. Things have gotten a little bit more swole, a little thick with a Q because of the work John and I did with EARTHCORE, and then a lot as we built out, and John's been integral to building out the GFL series as well, and all of the really intricate threading that goes on with everything. Like, I can conceive it, I see it, but then, the next day it's sort of gone. So John is the glue that holds all of these things together. So that helped make Mount Fitzroy so much more yoked. I'm trying to think of all the other weightlifting terms I can come up with. I sort of forgot the question now. So the beginning is very different, but the beginning is different because the end of the old EARTHCORE is different than the end of the final finished EARTHCORE. So that's why I had to change the beginning. So
yeah. So I think the answer is you sort of had the big story plot points. Mm-hmm. And you had a more improv version of that, if I'm not wrong. Like, you thought, I'm going to start here, I'm going to hit this, and get out.
Well, there's 2 big things. Number one, the GFL era got so much richer and more detailed. And all of you listening, if you like, I love your stuff, but I don't like the sports books, just friggin' read it. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's everything all interconnects. So there was much more history and timeline and substance that was able to be incorporated into Fitzroy. Mm-hmm. And then, gosh darn, I forgot the other point.
Well, and Mike says...
Champagne's getting me already. Yep.
Which is fine. It's been a very long day, so anything hit that getting him.
If I remember, I'll just blurt it out like this.
Mike Matazzi says the first chapter of the original Fitzroy is in Blood is Red, not Bones Are White.
Okay, and then the other thing, just give me 1 second.
While
the
you
other
do
thing I was
that,
gonna
I'll say, Tracy Shank, thank you so much. I am a first-generation American. My dad came over at 23 years old from Ireland, and I have never been to Ireland until Scott was invited to the Paris Book Fair in 2017, and we built a little book tour, and I got this as a thank you gift for planning that from Scott. So it's a Tree of Life. It's an Irish Tree of Life.
Let me grab
I love
this
it
real
very
quick.
much.
Paul Inman, yes, you should read the 2018 version of EARTHCORE or listen to it. You absolutely should read that before you read Fitzroy. It will magnify your enjoyment to magnum proportions.
And Melissa has a great question. Why did you rewrite EARTHCORE instead of just start Fitzroy?
That's a much bigger. We've covered that in detail over at scottssigler.com. If you want to email us, info@emptyset.com, we'll send you a link to that. But as a very long explanation.
And part of the short answer is that you grew a lot.
Yeah, I'm a much better writer than I was when I put it out the first time, and was able to.
Kent, so nice to see you.
There was in particular the descriptions of the hidden culture, we will call it, that lives under the mountain. I just didn't have the chops. I didn't have the chops to do that the way I envisioned it. And now I do. That was a big part of it. Much better writer. And that you can, I think you'll see the difference. You read EARTHCORE, and then, especially if you guys have seen the old EARTHCORE, you read the new EARTHCORE, the final EARTHCORE, excuse me, and they roll into Mount Fitzroy. Mount Fitzroy is, without a doubt, this is the deepest character-wise, relationship-wise. This is the best work I have done to date. And hopefully I'll continue to get better at things and continue to make you cry and stay up all night and make you sleepy at work. But there's zero question. Mount Fitzroy is hands down the best thing I have done yet.
So next question.
Shoot.
Without spoilers, can you tell us how you feel about some of these characters' story arcs and how they end? Will we feel good about some of these? And I am specifically telling you guys as a not spoiler that some people from the first book survive. And I am specifically asking you about the people who came in the first book. And if you can say, will your readers be satisfied with that ending? No spoilers.
Without spoilers, the scant few that made it out, no one made it out unscathed, but some people made it out with their heart still pumping and their head still attached to their shoulders. The thing I'm the most proud about, I guess there's three things most proud about EARTHCORE, is the character arc of those that made it through book one, what happens to them in book two, and how much richer and deeper they become. It is the character arc of Tommy, who is a new character in this book, and I think he is the strongest, most grown up literature character that I've done yet. And then also the no seams. This is an answer to the earlier question, how EARTHCORE or Fitzroy changed. I got older, and I mean, we're talking in some regards like 20 years between the first drafts of EARTHCORE and then when I'm starting to write Mount Fitzroy. I know a whole lot more about how the world works. There's a whole lot more that I've accepted. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that we all think we're all going to be able to change when we're young. And the older you get, you're like, this stuff's been going on forever and ever. And you start to see some of those connections and being able to apply that to military veterans and what military veterans go through from the time they are young and idealistic and absolutely in perfect physical and mental condition. And then as they get older and find out, a lot of things they fought for might have been a bunch of bullshit. And watching friends of mine go through the military, be lifers, come out the other side and have difficulties with life compared to that time when they all knew who they were. And then the final part of that third part is that sometimes our cultures are not as appreciative of combat veterans as we should be. And so that's the third part of the book, is watching a bunch of upper middle-aged ex-special forces people get together for that one giant caper when their bodies are just not up to it anymore. But they've got a very specialized set of skills, and they can't pass up this last chance to go get that big payday It's super fun. I really love it.
And I'll say, also without spoilers, so this will sound a little miasma-like, but bear with me because y'all will listen to EARTHCORE and you'll get it. If you look at the character and cast list for Fitzroy, for EARTHCORE, and then you look at the cast list, what I'll call the cast list for Fitzroy, the cast list for Fitzroy 15 years later are much more complex and conflicted humans. They're well-rounded and not just the piece of the military or the piece of the scientist or the piece, and it wasn't that in EARTHCORE we thought all those characters were one-dimensional. We just didn't get to see a lot of their life arc. And in this book, we get to see a lot of story arc or character arc for some of the characters, and that doesn't actually save them necessarily. It sometimes doesn't, who knows, but I love that part because I love we talk a whole lot about in the Siglerverse, dead equals dead.
Yeah.
And in this book there's an up level, and it's not just dead equals dead, it's dead equals dead, and that sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks. Or dead equals dead, and yes, there's a lot of that because more about who they are as a human
There's
being.
some rough ways to go out. Alan Sloan asks, are they getting too old for this shit? And the answer is yes, Alan.
Yes.
They are all getting too old for this
And
shit.
today I saw on the internet, somebody said, if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie, and I'm all in for both of those. So I don't know what you're
I guess that
complaining about.
Lethal Weapon 2 would be the Christmas movie. We'll talk about that some other time. Next question, baby.
All righty. Okay. This is a question for you as an author.
All right.
What literary pilgrimages have you been on? And I am not asking about research. I'm asking if there was like for me, I'm a big movie buff, and I watched a Brando movie on VHS, and then I had to watch every Brando movie on VHS back in the day. Have you ever done that?
No.
Never.
The closest I've come is it East of Eden? Is that the
Hemingway?
No. Oh gosh darn it. What's the James Dean movie?
Rebel Without a Cause?
Rebel Without a Cause. I once went to the LA Observatory. It was closed, and I had not seen Rebel Without a Cause yet. That's the closest I've come to a movie pilgrimage.
Okay, I was more talking about did you have to dive deep down in a rabbit hole? You read one book.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we're talking books or movies?
Yeah, I was using my example as movies, but I'm actually a literary pilgrimage is what I'm asking you. Did you read an author and be like, I got to now do every single one of these books?
Oh yeah, Jack London, without a doubt. I was on a huge Stephen King jag for a while when I was an up and coming writer, because he's so good at secondary, tertiary characters and main characters too. So I was stuck on that for a while, but now what I do is when I find a writer that I adore or a series that's really good, I tear through the whole thing. The Temeraire series was great.
That was one of the ones I was thinking about.
And that, God darn it, who is that? I'm blanking out.
Joe?
No, who wrote Temeraire?
That's Naomi Novik. Yeah.
Naomi Novik. Temeraire series is mwah! And Nicholas Sansbury Smith's Helldiver series
and there's one more.
Is my Joe Ledger series.
Oh, that's
Joe Ledger by Jonathan Mayberry.
I watched you just root through every single Abercrombie book ever.
Oh, Joe Abercrombie is still.
I'm done. I'm going to walk 3 more miles tonight with my dog so I can finish.
I am so hype on Joe Abercrombie series that his current book, The Trouble with Peace, I think it is I only get to listen to that when I am running and training for a half marathon. No other time. Only when I'm actually out on them streets, hitting that pavement, getting them gains, do I get to listen to that book. He's wonderful, wonderful. One of my favorite authors. So there you go. Let's keep going.
Another Fitzroy question without spoilers. It's important to remind you without spoilers.
No spoilers. All right.
Who's your favorite character in Mount Fitzroy?
Tommy, the bookworm is.
The bookworm's my favorite character.
He's lights out. It's one of those things where. You guys know I like to toot my own horn. And how can I not? Let's be honest. I've always had a swollen head. When I was a little kid, I looked like a little bald light bulb. But no, that's the best work I've done yet is Tommy. Tommy Strymon he's wonderful, and I really dig him, and I liked his arc a lot in the book.
Yeah, and I will say, and I appreciate the position I'm in saying this. I will say it without spoilers. But I'm also saying it as a fan, not as a producer. I will say I think you are right. Tommy is an enormously beautiful character, and I think a lot of people will love him. I also think that Masal the Efficient and John Tweedy are legacy people. They are legacy people. I'm not saying that you will have a crazy revelation about John Tweedy or whatever. He's still John Tweedy in the Gangster. He's much John Tweedy, but I think that's
we forgot
just
to
a
mention this.
character.
This Sunday, you guys, we start The Gangster. The Gangster will be the book that we are podcasting. What my buddy Masal the Efficient goes through is insane. If you are not subscribed to my podcast, don't be a slappy. For God's sakes,
I don't
subscribe.
know what a slappy is.
I can't use what people are slappy, or Danny Baker will charge me another $1. But you can go here, look at all these places you can subscribe, and you can see us twitching and stweeching and YouTubing.
So
and
I will
gramming.
absolutely say I don't disagree that Tommy, hands down, is my favorite character in this book. But he's not my favorite character in the Siglerverse. That's tied for a few things, I think. Okay, next question. Let's see, do we have any?
Doug Lane, I don't kill the characters. The characters die because things happen to them.
And yet,
I'm not
I
responsible.
don't disagree with you, Doug Lane, at all. I'd be flipping mad.
Yeah, Kent Lawley mentions Philip K. Dick. Ridiculously powerful man.
Okay.
Shoot.
Big question.
All right. Girthy question.
Considering this is the first book you've written that will be impossible to finish on its release day as long as you're listening at normal speed. And I think even if you're listening at a reasonable speed, like if you're listening at 1.2 or 1.3, still not going to be able to finish it in a day.
Okay.
Do you think folks will be happy, sad, or mad at you tomorrow or the next day when they do finish?
Will people be, I think it'll, if I've done my job correctly, it is all of the above. You will be happy, you will be sad, you will be gutted, you will be elated, you will be super excited to see what comes next. And I will not give any spoilers, but A and I have put in a lot of work cogitating what we do, because the GFL series, we now know how that's going to end. Mm-hmm. Book 6 will be out soon. I'm working on book 7. Then it all ends with book 8. And when that's done, we're sort of figuring out what we focus on then. And the crypt will come before book 8 is out. But the Department of Special Threats is possibly set up as an enduring franchise type thing for me. And so you will be very optimistic about what comes next. You'll be super sad for the people who didn't make it. You'll laugh, you'll cry, it will become a part of you.
Here's the thing. There are so many people, and I'm sort of one of them. I'm actually a convert. I started listening to The Rookie and no interest in football. Other than that, my brother liked it. That was all I cared about. And now I'm super invested in football. And all of a sudden, I'm not sure if football matters to me finishing the GFL. I want to see what happens there no matter what, because it gets big and it gets awesome.
It gets big like a pickle. There's going to be less on-field football as we move forward with the GFL series, but I can't tell you why. All I know is it's I think you're going to like it. All right,
and
next.
Clovar, yes, it's 8, Clovar, it is 8 books. It was 7. The whole gestalt was 7.
It was 6? Supposed to be 6, wasn't it?
No, I think it was always going to be 7.
Okay.
Or at least once I met you, it was always going to be 7.
Mm-hmm.
But then he wrote 6, and the idea behind 6, and Scott worked with me and John Vizcarra and J.C. Hutchins, who some of you will know. He's a terrific writer. Look him up. And we went, I was like, write the biggest draft you want, because he thought he would end the entire series with book 6 if it could be a little bigger than normal. And y'all know he writes girthy books. And he wrote it, and it was, oh my goodness, the biggest book I have ever seen in my life. And I read The Talisman, and it's bigger than that. And Hutch, who is, of course, a great writer as well, was like, God, there's a beautiful break right there. There's a beautiful break right there. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, it went from he's going to finish it in 6 books, and we're just going to figure out how to ship a book this big, to now it's 8 books. And I will tell you this. I know that you guys are like, oh, Jesus, it's going to take 17,000 years for me to get this. It's worth the wait, and it won't take
It's coming.
17,000 years.
It's coming. Bob Ropes says he doesn't care much for football, but loves the GFL. And Bob Ropes'
we hear this a lot.
icon is him in a gorgeous Krakens jersey.
That's true.
So I love that
know.
so much, man.
And
Hey,
I think every time
Bobby,
I've actually
R.I.P..
met Bobby in face to face, he's been wearing that jersey. So
All
it's
right.
lovely.
All right. So, we might go a little long. I still have to work tonight, believe it or not, you guys. We might go a little long because people are having a good time. So when you guys sign
We're
off,
having a good time. We've had
let
a
us know
very
when you're
busy
signing
day,
off. We're
so.
gonna go ahead and I've not celebrated today at all.
Well,
so.
you did now. Here, hang on.
Oh.
Do you have a? Yeah.
I got
okay.
a Glenn Gooley blue.
Oh, show me your shirt. Oh, Glenn Gooley blue. I should have poured.
Oh.
Yeah. Whoop.
You
If
know,
you
I
guys
haven't
are
watched the most
unfamiliar,
recent season of Archer. I may
with
have to just
Archer,
pound
that's
that
an
through.
Archer thing, and our
great show.
last
Great show.
Sigler Fest was Sigler Danger Island
Yep.
as a tribute to Archer Danger Island, which is super fun. So he got that for that. And we brought a bottle of Glen Gooley Blue, which
It's fantastic.
all right.
Next question, baby. Here we go.
All right.
I feel like this camera's moving. It's so odd.
It's me moving, actually, because I'm trying to evaluate.
I'll scooch up.
Okay.
Here we go.
So earlier this year, when you finished Mount Fitz Roy, we were on SIGLERinPLACE, and you talked a little bit about being a little bit burned out for the very first time in your career.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do anything to give yourself a break?
Yes, I did. I have gotten more into music, and Tuesday, we're going to have one of my four musical projects. We're going to have Severiano Wada on, Sevi, who is the guitar player for Superweapon, and Evan Diamond and the Library. We are waiting to hear back on we're doing an EP with Evan Diamond and the Library, and it's been 12 weeks since I've heard anything at all about what's going on. So we're just like, okay, and Sevi's like, hey man, do you want to do a new project? I'm like, yes, I do. And we have come up with something called Superweapon. We'll have music out very soon. It is very Metallica meets ELO. It's going to be wonderful. And he's going to come on, and if we can get the sound right, he's going to come on and shred for us. Not just shred for us. And he's got a jazz degree from San Diego State University. The young man he's very proficient with the guitar instrument. He's also writing backing tracks. he's gonna come out play for us. We're gonna talk a little bit about Superweapon. So the music is very important because when I'm working on the music, it's I think the only time I'm not thinking about something book or story related. So that's my way of slipping over into that other world, giving my brain a break, and then I get to come back and be sharp and very excited about writing. So that's helped with the burnout a lot. I'm ready to rock.
So I will say we just got a question, not in the chat room, about, oh, geez, which EARTHCORE do I need? So you don't happen to have it. Can you call up a picture over here of EARTHCORE maybe?
Yes. Hey, Robin, welcome. What, you want the EARTHCORE here, baby?
Hey, Robin, nice to see you. Yeah, I just want an image on the screen of EARTHCORE. So the EARTHCORE that has this cover that we're about to show you, that is the story that continues in the Mount Fitz Roy that dropped today. There are a lot of you in the chat room who will know the darker brown cover with the double-edged platinum blade on it. That is relevant, but rewritten. And there may be a little bit of missing pieces. I will be honest, I'm not sure that you are obligated to read EARTHCORE to enjoy Fitzroy. But I will say, at the end of Fitzroy, if you didn't read EARTHCORE, you'd be like, no, I got to read EARTHCORE. So you should read EARTHCORE first.
Let me put this to rest real quick. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen. As your giant noggin, five-head Lord and Savior, and purveyor and executor of all that is important, you are obligated to read the EARTHCORE from 2018 that I spent 17,000 hours of my life sharpening, perfecting, and mastering so that I could entertain your ass. Go read it. Go listen to it. Ray Porter narrates it. So let it be written. So let it be done. Do it. And then when you read Fitzroy, you will send me a thank you note. I know you will already. I can see it right now. Dear FDO, thank you so much for making me read EARTHCORE.
Spike's in the chat room.
Spike's
finally
in the chat room.
Again.
What's up,
He's
brother?
been having a busy year.
The five-head clan.
He's like, I'm here for one night and you did it. You did it. Do it.
All right. You have all been given your marching orders. And try if you combine the new EARTHCORE, the final EARTHCORE with Mount Fitzroy, that is 54 hours of audio entertainment. That is somewhere close to 450,000, 180. It's over 400,000 words. You guys getting to read that book that you really love with an author that you feel like you connect with. Those are rare opportunities in life. You got to treasure them when they come. Trust me, you will thank me later. Baby, next question.
All righty. Oh, I got the wrong thing up. Okay.
Few things are sexier in life than a champagne glass. Just a little bit of lipstick on there. Very nice. Very nice. I love it.
And I thought he was about to say, there's few things sexier in life than bubbles in your champagne glass. So cheers to y'all. Okay, so this...
Real quick, Scott Wilson, we don't have an answer for you yet. It is an edit. The Gangster
What
audiobook.
is the question?
When will the Gangster audiobook be available? The Gangster audiobook is in edits with Steve the Iceberg Rickenberg, and A is proofing that content right now, but I'm done with my recording. The print version is in layout with Donna Mugavero, the Empty Set Diva of Design, and the ebook is under process too. But we no longer give you publish dates until we actually know when it's going to come out.
Well,
so
and this one in particular is difficult because of the pandemic. I will give you a super
really quick.
Well, our original print thing got canceled, and then our printer went out of business for every one of the other books. They're totally out of business. We had to get our property rights back from conservatorship, so that took a minute. Then we had to ask for other bids. We got another bid. We are in the process of getting on the print schedule. The print schedule, though, is affected by everybody else who was on the biggest printer in the United States' print schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will be in January or so. I'm not exactly sure. I'm hoping it'll be sometime in January, which means the books will ship sometime in February. That's my hope. But I am working every day with our new contact. He's a great guy. He's read the first two books. He's really into them. And I will give you an update with everything I have. Facebook, newsletters, SIGLERinPLACE, as soon as we know. But soonish.
All right. Next question, baby girl.
All righty.
Bring it back to my camera so I can continue to stare at people and tell them.
This is not a question
read
about Fitzroy, but it is a question about you as a writer.
You sons of bitches better read that goddamn EARTHCORE, the new one. Before you read Fitzroy, I swear to God, I'll fart in your general direction. Yes. Question? Go ahead.
What was the first book that ever made you cry?
Oh my gosh, the first book that ever made me cry, that's got to be White Fang. White Fang, I think, is the first book that ever made me cry. It's really hard to remember, but all of my early crying books, when I could not conceive the impossible frailty of the human existence, and I did not yet understand that humans can not only die and never come back, but they can break and be forever fractured and be a different person, and all this erudite, incredibly thoughtful, philosophical stuff I can say now. When I was 7, I told poop jokes to myself and laughed at them for an hour. But I could at that age conceive of a dog dying. So all the books I read where puppies perished, I bawled my ass off for every single one of them.
Oof.
White Fang, a dog named Wolf. There's just so many of them. They still are very difficult for me. I'm a wreck when people I know die. I'm a wreck. I am a disaster when a dog dies. I am a disaster. You just put me in bed for 2 weeks and just, feed me soup through a straw because that's all I'm going to be able to do. I'm not very good with that.
So I will say this. We have
oh, God, where's Redfern Gross? Fuck you, Scott Wilson. Fuck you.
We have a private Siglerbration that's not about the books or the business.
Yeah, Charlotte's Web. I credit that to you.
Tomorrow, our tiny Squeaky, a year ago tomorrow, our tiny Squeaky had knee surgery. She was born with a bad knee and had a lot of trouble managing that. And so a year ago tomorrow, she had knee surgery, and it was a 3-month recovery, which I wasn't prepared for. But she's doing great now, and she's a totally different dog. And I will tell you, Scott's not lying about that. Oh, if it's a dog thing, because he was bereft.
Melissa, shut up. Don't ever mention Old Yeller in front of me ever again. Ever again. How goddamn dare you?
So
next
I
question,
have
baby.
another.
Let's go.
Wait,
Let's rock it out.
I have to find the
guys. It's real quick. It is 7:00. Your obligation to your future Dark Overlord is satiated. If you wish to go on about your business, please do. Because the rest of this, the next half hour to 45 minutes, whatever, is going to be me drinking and answering questions and then taking questions from the chat room. And they will progressively
And
make
you
less
guys,
and less sense.
we've been up since a little after 5 a.m. and putting out fires all day because that's how it works on a book birthday. It's a great, beautiful moment, and it's also an oh my god, are you kidding me? We worked for 15 years for this moment, kind of thing. So this next half hour is just going to be fun. If you have the time to hang out, that would be wonderful. If you are on the East Coast and you need to check back in, just scoot until
You're going to
an
need your
hour
sleep
later.
because when you get into Mount Fitz Roy, you will not be sleeping.
Yeah, so we're going to stay for a little while longer and maybe answer some of the rest of it. So
one more time.
So this is out of order, but one of the questions is, what is your kryptonite? And I think you just told us. I think you just said.
Oh, it's dogs dying. Dogs.
What is your
in pain.
literary kryptonite?
Oh,
That was literary kryptonite.
I think it's the same. I have also movie-wise or book-wise. It is the love of one's life passing and the empty second half, the empty shell, trying to figure out not only how to go through life, but why fucking bother? When you see two people who love each other that much, and then one perishes and the other's just kind of like, well, I guess I'm going to have some cereal today because that's what I did when she was alive. I guess I'm going to go work on the garden because that's what I used to do with him when he was around. That stuff just fucking guts me. It's so bad. So,
and I will tell you a little secret, a little empty set secret. One of the things that so you guys know, we've known each other for 13 years. We just recently started to date after our first marriages ended, all that stuff. One of the first things we did is I hadn't watched John Wick. I happened to not have seen that. And that was one of our first dates. And it was, oh my God, it was so
That's
hard.
dog and significant other. I'm a disaster for John Wick.
And I was so unprepared because how he sold it was like, it's violent, but I'm sure you can handle it. It's good violent. There's also a dog. Like, he was very John Tweedy about it. He's like, you're going to love it. I loved it. I can watch it. I can watch it 17 more times. It's going to be fine. There's a dog.
You know, you're gonna love this movie because it's really good all the way up until the dogs come home. And if the crow flies at midnight, that means that when we come back at noon, everyone's heart is whole.
Then we watch it, and he's all... Because he knows what's happening in John Wick, and I do not. He's very...
I'm so mad. I'll tell the story real quick. I'm so mad. I've had this story in the story file. I have a database of story ideas. I've had the story for 20 years. I've had this story where a mafioso gentleman assigns his son to get some street cred. You're going to go out, you're going to whack this guy because you got to have your bona fides. You haven't done anything. All these other guys have done all this work. You need to go prove yourself to the organization so you can take over for me. And he sends the guy out, he sends his son out to kill a guy. And during the hit, the kid kills both the guy and the guy's dog. And then the next day, in a classic mafia movie Italian restaurant scene, when they're in the back corner and the whole restaurant is closed, and it's just the, the capos and the don, and then in comes this guy with like a black hole in his head, and he is a cognizant zombie wraith, and he comes in and nobody can. This is like The Walking Dead. They don't quite get that he's actually dead, but he comes in and he's like, "You're gonna give me your son." Because he killed me and he killed my dog. And this guy makes a deal with the devil that he gets to keep coming back until he can actually kill the guy who killed his dog. And then goddamn John Wick came out. And I'm like, I knew I should have wrote that story. I knew I should have wrote it. And now it's gone.
And Lisa Johnston, you have it exactly right. It's like, oh, I was so great with John Wick, but I'm not sure you watch it.
That first John Wick, dude. That first John Wick. I was so happy. Gentlemen... action adventure movie aficionados of my generation, Rob and Dan are in the house. We've grown increasingly frustrated, old and crotchety, at this shaky cam crap where somebody's like, he's an amazing action director. Like the Hunger Games fight scenes, dude, they're garbage. It's just literally like this all over the place. You can't tell what's happening. John Wick brought back choreographed fight scenes. It's fantastic. Love John Wick. It's a throwback. Good. That's it. I'm on a rant now because I'm old and drunk.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going. Okay.
Oh
Scott
God,
Sigler.
Richard Means is crying over the ferret in Beastmaster. Oh, I know,
Michael.
dude.
Michael Means.
Michael Means. Sorry, the ferret was rough. It was rough. The
Sir,
two ferrets. Yes.
what was the best money you've ever spent as a writer?
Best money I've ever spent as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the money I spent for the snowmobile trip to the UP to write Ancestor, to research Ancestor, where I just as a someone just coming into their own financially after a lot of years and a lot of ramen, I was able to book a flight by myself, usually travel with company or whatever, business, to the Keweenaw Peninsula.
And does that mean you were on a plane by yourself?
I was
like
on
on
a plane by
Cessna
myself.
by yourself?
Well,
Okay.
I was first. Yeah, it was. I wound up at some point. I wound up on a Cessna, and we land at the airport in Houghton Hancock Airport in northern Michigan, where I rented a snowmobile at the airport. That's how snowy it is in northern Michigan. And then I rented a snowmobile, and I had a cabin set up, and I wound up driving the snowmobile up north. And I had my the old black MacBook clamshell way back when, strapped that to the back snowmobile, drove up north, and it's a story for another day. But I was intending to spend 8 days in a cabin isolated in northern Michigan, where you have to have a snowmobile just to get in.
How'd that go?
It did not go well. It did not go well because at some point I'm not good with knots. Knots and math apparently are not my strong suits. At some point I stopped to look around at the gorgeous scenery that is the Upper Peninsula, and I realized the computer has fallen off the back of the snowmobile. Why I put the computer strapped by itself on the snowmobile and not in the 80-pound backpack I had, I don't know. I was dumb. And then I started, so I'm like, oh my God, I am going to be here for 8 days. I need the computer to write the novel because I'm an American writer. I'm going to go stay in a cabin for 8 days. I'm going to write a novel. And I drove back looking for it. You know what I did?
What did you do?
I ran over my computer with a snowmobile.
We're
I ran
talking
over
about
my
the
own
best
computer.
thing you spent money on.
And then, wait, here's the best part. My heart sinks because it's a work computer. And this is, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford to replace this. I can't. I get the computer. I finally get to the cabin. That's a whole other, the ordeal I went through to get there was astonishing. But to cut it short, I get to the cabin, plug it in, open it up, let it warm up to room temperature because I'm not a dummy. Turns on. I'm like, this is great. All I'm going to do, I've got Madden 08 on this thing. I've got a hack. I can play Madden. I'm going to relax tonight. I'm going to play Madden 08, and then I'm going to get up tomorrow and get to work. I had broken a tiny connector in the computer that connected the power jack with the battery or the circuit board. So what was happening is I played Madden and it was drawing up battery power. And as soon as the battery power was done, the computer was dead. So I spent 7 days in a cabin in bum F nowhere, northern Michigan, writing on anything I could find in order to write you guys Ancestor. That's my Jack London story.
So
It's
here's
not
the
very
thing.
good, but that's it.
I had set that question up to actually work a different way,
Okay.
where the first question would have a different answer, and then what was the worst spending money?
The Ancestor trip was the worst money I ever spent too.
I thought
wait.
that the best, to be fair, I thought that the
know
best
now.
money. Oh yeah, tell me if you have
The
another.
best money was the spelunking research I did for EARTHCORE when I actually got to go to the Mammoth Cave system. It's in Kentucky, baby. I always get this wrong.
COVID or not COVID?
Yeah, Mammoth
Carlsbad
Cave.
Canyons?
Carlsbad's in. I get Carlsbad's.
Carlsbad's, I think, in Missouri.
Mammoth Caves is in Kentucky, and I got to go do some serious spelunking. The only thing we didn't do was get the harnesses on and rappel, but my skinny ass, which was 15 to 20 pounds skinnier back then, we went through some areas that I got stuck in, and it was fantastic. We were way, way, way underground where very few people have been. One of the places I went was so narrow that as you crawl through a space that's probably about this big, it was so narrow I had to take off my hard hat and push it in front of me because if you turn your head with the hard hat, you couldn't fit through. It was friggin' spectacular. That was back in the day. We're like, I'm going to go on a research trip for every novel I write. It's going to be a lot of adventure. I'm going to be just like Jack London. I'm an American male writer. I'm going to be like Jack London. That it stopped after that shit, after Ancestor. But I had the intention. I had the intention of doing it.
And that was absolutely not the thing I thought would be his best choice of
What
how
do you
he's
think my best one?
I thought that you getting your first great big book deal, which was a great big book deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. It was good.
And then that provided your next 5 years of writing.
Oh,
I thought that would be.
That's day-to-day living and health care and food. Who cares about that? Who cares?
All right. What kind of research did you do for Mount Fitzroy?
For Mount Fitzroy research, I've gotten wiser in my years. Mount Fitzroy research was a lot of email to people who actually do the adventuring type stuff. Well, so we've talked about the gentleman who climbed Mount Fitzroy, did research for him. Google Maps is now, Google Maps, Wikipedia are irreplaceable, especially the Google Maps you can get at. You can like see what things actually look like and not have to spend thousands of dollars to go there and experience it. Granted, spending thousands of dollars going there would be better, but when your overall story concept is the relationship between Tommy and Patrick and Bertha and everybody else in the story, you know, getting the right color shade of the granite correct is not, nobody really cares. I'm learning nobody really cares. It's not that important. So the research was, by and large, finding people who had gone to these places, getting things as accurate as you can get them without going down a rabbit hole of information that you guys don't care about and won't make it into the book anyway. So there's a lot of, just basically a lot of computer research was the biggest deal, and getting to talk some really, really, really cool people who do really, really, really cool stuff was awesome. But
yeah, we already talked about it. You were so tweaked to talk to the guy who was all like, "Yeah, no, you can't text underground when you're down a mile."
Yeah, it's great.
But what you can do, and you guys will see. This is not quite a spoiler, but you guys will see that there are. I don't think this is actually technically right, but there are triangulation techniques, is what I would call them. There is a way, if a cave is mapped, for people
Good night,
to
Robin.
work on communicating in the cave, depending on how deep it is.
Alan's on fire tonight. Alan says when I was in the Mammoth Caves, I had to deflate my ego to get my head
He's
through.
not wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. And part of the research was, it's always a delight to work with JP Harvey. Anytime aircraft, especially military aircraft or air combat, is involved, talking to JP about what's real. JP's one of those Iron Man, you know, it's Tony Stark type guys. You're like, he's like, what did you do when you're over in Europe? Like, well, I can't really talk about it. Okay, cool, man. Don't need to know. But he helped provide a lot.
This
And-
is a
and-
huge part of my relationship with JP Harvey.
Yeah,
I'm
can't
like,
talk about
I
it.
mean,
Can't
I
talk
know
about
you're Iron Man, but just tell me what you can. And he's like, ha ha ha.
And then every time I get to work with Chris Grawl, who's working on a novel of his own, Mr. Happy, his knowledge of small unit tactics and weapons and reloading and silent communication and movement patterns and how fast things can get screwed up on a mission and ways people flake out, ways people who think are flakes don't flake out. All of it's always magic because I never served in the military, so getting to talk to these guys
And
who did
even
all this
Scott
work is
Pond,
really
you've had
great.
a lot in this
Scott
one
Pond
of
for
being
naval
as
stuff,
part
yeah.
of also being part of a small team.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Scott Pond's got a lot of helpful information for the crypt. Scott Pond was, I believe, he was in the
He's
Navy. He was a submariner?
I don't think he was.
No, I think he was
yes.
surface ship. And
Yeah.
then we've got Joe Root, who's done a lot of, Commander Joe Root, ladies and gentlemen, who's done a lot of, we have a lot, the podcast, the biggest benefit to the podcast, aside from establishing my relationship with a lot of you guys who are watching right now, is having very experienced, intelligent, nice people reach out to me to say, hey, here's my body of knowledge. If there's any way I can help, you should contact me. They have no idea that I'm going to take up so many hours of their time.
So much.
You volunteered, sons of bitches. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Answer these questions are very important. All right, what else we got, baby?
So
we'll
I'll
do a
say
couple
this.
more because
A
we're
couple
running
more,
along.
yeah. But you said you wanted to go to 7:30.
Ooh,
so we're doing
which actress from Mike Wirtz in the chat room, which actress do I envision best personifying and resembling Anna Villani? That's got to be a gothy bombshell. Who could pull that off? We'll think about that, Mike. If it pops into my head, I will tell you. But the Anna Villani character is.
Hang on.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what show it is.
I think Emma Stone rocked the shit out of that.
Yeah, but she got to dye her hair dark.
Oh, she did.
But she would.
She would dye
Or
her hair
wig
dark.
it.
Charlize Theron would be if she. Yeah, Charlize Theron is the Eon Flux. Charlize Theron.
Well, and remember, there's a whole
Killer.
bunch of Angelina Jolie, but I'm thinking of who are the the current right age group too, because there's a handful of young up and comers who would be.
Well,
great.
Anna Vellani's great because she can cover such a wide spectrum of ages. We're not. It could be anything. Darren Giles. Speaking of the Crypt and News sequel, Darren, as soon as I am done with the second draft of GFL Book 7, we're diving into the Crypt. We're going to do Crypt Book 1, Crypt Book 2, and then see where it goes from there. So that is coming.
It's the second draft. I think it's the first outline. The
Seven?
second. Yeah, I think it's
No,
the
7. We're in third draft. 8's first outline.
No, I think the thing you have to do before you get to the Crypt is go over the draft. That's what you just said.
That's what I said.
Sorry, yeah.
All
I
right.
thought that was an outline, but if it's already a draft, it's already a draft.
John, we are drinking champagne because we are celebrating a book birthday because our book, Mount Fitzroy, came out today. Sir, if you have not got this bad boy from Audible, treat yourself. Treat yourself. You deserve it. You should go get EARTHCORE audiobook, and then you should get Mount Fitzroy, and you should sit down for 54 hours in a soapy bubble bath with some champagne of your own and treat yourself because you earned this book. You earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
Ooh,
this is a
Carla
hard one.
Gugino. Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
right?
That's
This is a
great.
hard one.
Shirley Manson, yes! Shirley could kill that. Very good. Angelica Houston. There's so many women who could just crush that role. So many. It's one of the best roles available. Good.
Again, without spoilers. This is important.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Can you tell us which was the hardest scene in Mount Fitzroy to write? And you
No.
might have. You just can't
I
without
can't-
saying.
I
Okay,
can't, I
fair.
cannot, without spoilers, I cannot possibly tell you the scenes where it is a combination of humanity and pathos and being a deep, sensitive individual and being conceited as fuck and having a huge ego when you make yourself cry with your own writing. Because you know what's coming, man. You know this, man. You wrote this, man. You outlined this, man. And then you still write it and you still cry. You're like, I don't know whether I'm really good or just completely conceited and arrogant. I can't tell. Which
Why
is
not
pretty
both?
Much, which pretty much me all the time. So yeah, go ahead, baby.
Donald Ray Porter is my man crush too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Don, he's got that
Okay,
hair, dog.
so this came from a while back from Evan Hammerman in the chat room, but I'm going to ask it now. In Mount Fitzroy, do you throw any bones to H.P. Lovecraft?
Well, there's, in a way, the entire duology is a Lovecraft boner, or love boner, as I like to describe it. There's clearly a lot of there's a lot of attention to that, and then if you've read the GFL, you can see through George Starcher how much of an appreciation there is for Lovecraft. George Starcher is basically a priest of the religion of H.P. Lovecraft. So there you go. That's the answer to that.
Alrighty. We have a couple more.
All right, hit me.
We just have the rapid fire round.
Ooh,
Do you want to do
Katie
that?
Sackhoff. Sean Dyer. We get Katie Sackhoff. Anything Katie Sackhoff wanted to act in and anything that I had any control over, done.
John Shipley. Ray Porter is lovely. To look at.
Sorry. Gosh darn it. Who played La Femme Nikita? Peta Wilson. Peta Wilson's number one. Peta Wilson, number one. Any role she wants. Katie Sackhoff, any role she wants. We're going to make that happen. Go ahead, baby. Lightning round. Lightning round.
Rapid fire. Whatever comes first to mind for you.
You
here.
ask, and then I'll switch cameras like it's a real TV show. Ready? Go.
Okay. Whatever comes first to mind right now.
Yep.
Current favorite character not in one of your books.
That would be Elizabeth from The Americans.
Next project.
The Crypt GFL Book 7.
Yes. You snuck in too. Book or story of yours other than the Sun Symbol series that you would recommend to somebody who had never read your work.
Longer answer. First, you have to ask them, what's your favorite movie? If it's very horror related, that would be Infected. If it is a buddy cop related at all and also horror, that would be Nocturnal. If they are younger in any way, shape, or form, or you like, oh, I don't think they're into the really gory stuff, that would be Alive in the Generations trilogy. If they like the sports or the Star Wars at all, that would be The Rookie.
Yeah, that's it. Those were the only
That's it?
ones. Yeah, I think we're done. I've asked you my 16 questions.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple minutes, so we're going to go a couple more minutes. Firouzja Balk, some more. God, Firouzja Balk is just awesome. Ooh. Awesome. It was, she's great. She's great. GFL 7, Richard Allen. Richard Allen just got the memo. There's going to be a GFL. Richard, there's going to be a GFL book 8.
He's too busy.
Bruh.
He's too busy
Bruh.
adjudicating this swear jar. And I have not yet sent you your treat, but I'm going to be on it tomorrow.
All right. Richard Allen says, don't throw bones, they hurt. Not all bones hurt. Not all the time. Let's go. Doug Lane says, that head just got bigger. Not all heads. Not all the time. How about Lady Gaga? Dude, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'll pay the swear jar. Lady Gaga has so much friggin' power. Power in Hollywood. If she called me, I was like, I've read your books and I want to play Quentin Barnes. I'd be like, we will make that happen, Lady Gaga. Because if Lady Gaga wants to play anything, that movie's going to get made. Chris Nutt just throws in a random $1 at the end. Very nice. Thank you for telling Fitzroy.
Because he's just caught up that you bought the book.
All right, here we go.
Wait, hang up. Yep. Spike, go back up. Spike had a question.
Shoot, Spike. What is it?
I have a question about the a character name in Fitzroy. Just the name. Is that a spoiler thing?
Spike, if you're still there, go ahead and ask your question. I'll be happy to answer it. Chris says, give us a GFL. Tracy, Amy Lee, I don't know about Amy Lee's acting chops. She's a wonderful, amazing, rarefied singer, but I don't know that she can act. I do.
Richard Allen. Come on. You're the best.
Richard Allen is our swear jar aficionado. That is his official empty set title. He says the swear jar is free this month for Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen,
my whole day.
If you've got children watching the show at this point, you need to turn it off because the swear jar lid has been ripped off, thrown into the recycling, but we missed the fucking recycling bin and it fell in the back of the goddamn trash closet. And you know what? It's just going to get moldy back there. And someday somebody's going to walk around saying, what the fuck stinks like shit in here? And like, I don't know, I can't find it. It's going to be the goddamn lid of the motherfucking swear jar.
And here's the reason that nobody gives you nice things. I think we're done.
Thank you, Nelson.
We should maybe wrap up now.
I'm waiting for Spike's goddamn motherfucking sons of bitchin' question.
Asks,
goddamn
we'll
motherfucking
stop. He might be done because it's later there.
It is late.
You know, so we're going to say, listen, if you guys have questions about anything, and I mean anything, you want recommendations for books, you have a charity you would like to recommend.
I'm directing and adjusting the camera by pulling A's chair over.
You have content ideas for SIGLERinPLACE. You have nonprofit sponsor ideas for SIGLERinPLACE. Anything you want to do.
Time out. Spike asks the character June July, red hair, green eyes, hippie parents that gave her the name. Is that someone we know? Maybe.
Wait, hang on. Are you ready?
You forgot, Spike, you forgot the part about being wicked smart and very witty.
I will say
that
I am an inspiration for June July, but I end up not a ton like June July. Tiny spoiler.
Yeah, okay.
So I will say, send in anything you have that will help us help you make SIGLERinPLACE better for y'all to info@emptyset.com.
We will be back on, what is it, Tuesday, December 18th with Sevi.
Oh, is that right? 18th? No, it's 8th.
That's what you wrote, sweetheart.
I screwed that up. It's
Tuesday, December 8th with Sevi Wada, guitar slinger for my band Super Weapon. He's going to come on and melt your goddamn motherfucking sons of bitchin' faces because it's Free Swear December.
And we're absolutely going to talk about Super Weapon the whole
Talk about
hour.
Super Weapon. Woo, woo, woo! We're going to play some Super Weapon tunes for you. It's going to be great.
But until then, you guys, we really need you, especially in this month. Please stay safe.
Stay smart.
Stay science.
And for the love of science, watching this giant cresting super wave of a COVID peak that is about to crash down upon our lovely Western culture, we need you to stay informed. Wear your goddamn mask. Put your politics aside.
Stay home.
Wear it. Stay separate. Stay home as much as you can.
Home.
You know what? You can come out and get your freedoms later. They're going to be there. It's going to be fine. Wear your mask. We love you. You're great.
And until then,
I screwed up our script. Sorry.
We're going to see you next time. We got to do the kiss off. We love you so much. Thank you guys for celebrating Mount Fitzroy with us. My love.
Happy birthday to you, sons of bitch and asshole. Goddamn bitch and bumpuses.
And before we do this, 15 years in the making. Only you. You're the only one. You're the only one who did this because I came late. You know, you've been doing this for 15 years. And guess what?
What?
today you're fucking done.
Done
Congratulations.
it, Fitzroy. We made it for you guys.
It's really
enjoy
huge.
it.
Congratulations.
I think it's the best thing I've done yet. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much if you've used your credit, if you've bought it. We are in this business because you guys like the stuff that we kick out. That is why we get to live this wonderful life, get to talk to you all the time. You're fantastic. Take care of yourselves. Maybe you're ready to kiss up in the sky?
Well, first I have to give you a celebratory kiss.
Ready? And 3, 2, 1. Wait. No, I got to get it queued up.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
now
Lord.
we're ready.
Oh, right, here
you
we
can
go.
all kiss up into the sky.